Hi, everyone. It's Andrea Fermanis from Elegant Elephant Travel, um, coming to you to chat about all the Sandals resorts that I have been to since I began my business back in 2016. So I just thought it was kind of important. I know I have a lot of clients and also a lot of um, advisors that are looking to get a little bit more information about the Sandals product. And I absolutely love the product. Obviously there are, a different, every Sandals property has something new and different. So that's why I thought it was like really important to do a webinar and have people ask questions and also put it out there for people, especially clients that are interested in having anything at a Sandals property. So I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on the ones that I have been to. And I've created a slideshow to kind of help out what I have enjoyed about each property. So I'm going to open up that and share my screen with you. This is the first time I'm doing this, so bear with me. So hopefully this will work here. Let's see. So I want to, okay. This, like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm hoping, there we go. Okay. So as I said, Elegant Elephant Travel Company, that is my company. And this is actually these are the overwater villas and bungalows at Sandals Royal Caribbean. So this is actually going to be one of the properties that I'm going to be talking about. So you can see here, this is actually one of the only Sandals properties that has the bungalows. So these are the bungalows here. They're smaller than the private villas. So these are all the villas around here. And obviously you can tell that they're the villas because they're almost twice the size of the bungalows. And they also have their own private pools. So the bungalows do not have their own private pools. They're a little bit smaller, but the villas do have their own private pools. And I actually was able to go into a villa and tour it a few years ago at this property. And so I have some slides to show you about that as well. But the other thing I love about the Sandals Royal Caribbean is it has its own private island just for the clients that are staying in the overwater bungalows or the villas. So that's super unique. No other Sandals property has that. So if you have clients or if you are looking to go on an amazing honeymoon, or you want to do a anniversary trip or celebrate a birthday, or something super important and special in your life, this is absolutely one of my favorite locations to do that at. There's no other Sandals property that has the private island all to yourself if you are going to stay at one of the Sandals Royal Caribbean overwater bungalows or villas. So why choose Sandals? Well, they have 17 award-winning adults only luxury all-inclusive resorts. I think they definitely are. I would put them in the luxury market. They're designed exclusively for adults seeking unparalleled relaxation and romance. The age range, I mean, it says, late 30s to early 70s. I mean, I would even put in there, mid 20s, because there are a lot of people that go to a Sandals resort for their honeymoon, and they can be as young as, 23, 24, 25. So I would maybe bump that down a little bit into mid 20s, or early 20s, depending on obviously the budget that you have. So it definitely spans a lot of different age groups. And I'm going to talk about that a lot when I share the properties that I've been to. There are definitely some properties that I feel are geared towards a younger crowd. And then there are properties that are geared towards, a more relaxing, chill vibe. So out of the 17 luxury resorts that they have, I would definitely say that there's something for everyone, absolutely everyone. And then not only do they have these 17 adults only properties, but they have the 3 family friendly luxury all-inclusive resorts that are called beaches. So it's their family friendly tier. And I have been to all 3 of those properties as well. They have 2 in Jamaica, beaches Ocho Rios and beaches Negril. And then they also have the stunning beaches Turks and Caicos. That is one of the most popular family-friendly luxury resorts in the world. I was just booking some stays for my clients in 2025 because they're selling out that quickly. It is one of the most popular resorts, like I said, in the world for families that want to stay and have an amazing time with their kids. So when you're talking about pricing, it's kind of tricky because the Sandals Resort has so many different categories for rooms and suites, but on average, if you were to get, the middle of the road suite, you would be looking at an average 5-night stay, anywhere from 2,800 to 4,800 per couple. And then an average 7-night stay could be anywhere from 4,000 to 8,500 per couple. So that's all dependent on the category that you stay in, the time of year that you go, because obviously it's much cheaper to go to a Sandals property in August, September, and October, because obviously that is, weather season, hurricane season. And so they definitely tend to do a lot of their discounts during those months. So high season is anywhere from January 1st to May 1st, essentially. So it's going to change quite a bit when you're talking about pricing, but that's just to kind of give you an idea of their lead-in or mid-category suites. So the first property I'm going to talk about is Sandals Granada. I was actually at this property last fall. This is a property that's probably one of my favorites. It would go in my top 3 of my favorite Sandals resorts. But there are a lot of things that you do need to know about this because it is a very specific resort in terms of the terrain that it has and just the way that it's kind of laid out. So it's definitely hilly, and you'll see that in the pictures that I'm going to share. So it would be difficult for your clients that do have difficulty walking. So if you have a client that is wheelchair based or does have, a walker or a cane or something like that, I would definitely not send them to this resort because it is, and you'll see in the pictures, there are some there are some rooms that you have to walk up a really steep terrain to get to your room. So I would just keep that in mind. So this would be perfect for clients that that are very adventurous, that are outdoorsy, that like to hike, that want to go and do excursions like scuba diving. They have the absolute coolest underwater museum in Granada. And you can see that I put in there, they do have wonderful excursions. And these are all part of the payment that you're going to make or the room that you're going to stay in. This comes all inclusive with your room. So kayaks, windsurfing, paddleboarding. And then, like I said, every single Sandals property actually has world-class scuba diving available. So one thing I want to let you know is I was there for a fam, and I stayed in the Pink Gin building. In my mind, and I'm going to show you a picture of that, it does need a little bit of updating. So those are the lead-in room categories. If you have a budget conscious couple, or you are a couple that needs to fit within a certain budget, I would stay in the Pink Gin, but there's also a lot of walking. They do not have an elevator in there, and they are 5 floors up. So you need to be cognizant of that when you book. However, they do have the most amazing suites. Those are the Rondevals and the Sky Pool suite in the Italian building. One of my clients actually, right when I left, they were coming to stay in the Sky Pool suite. So I went in there and took some pictures and did a video. And I have that here to share with you. It is a stunning suite. And I will say, and if any of you have been to a Butch's restaurant on a Sandals property, you know that the majority of the time they're very, very good. This is the best Butch's restaurant I have ever been to. And that is just because of their staff and their head chef. So we were actually able to have one of the chefs come out and do a presentation for us, and I have pictures of that to show you in a second, but it was phenomenal. The best Butch's restaurant I've ever been to was in Granada. And then the really other great thing about Granada, it is 5 minutes from the airport. So it is one of the quickest properties, is actually closer to the airport than Sandals Montego Bay is. So if you have clients that say, listen, I want to stay in a Sandals resort that is super close to the airport, this is an option for you. So this just shows you kind of like what it looks like. So when I said that it is, a very hilly terrain, I mean, this is exactly what it looks like. Super steep cliffs. I mean, they're so beautiful, but that is why you don't want to have people that have a difficult time walking or going upstairs or anything like that to stay at this property. This is definitely for a more adventurous client and that sort of thing. So up here again, so the resort literally sits in the middle of a bunch of hills and cliffs. So, but it's actually, that's what makes it so unique and beautiful. And that's why it's like one of my favorite Sandals properties that I've been to. Super gorgeous. So they have like 3 different pools on property. This is one of them. And like I said, you get included all of the different non-motorized water sports in your stay. This just kind of shows you the picture of what the ocean looks like. I don't think I have been to a Sandals property that doesn't have a pier that goes out. And this is usually the area where they do a lot of the private romantic dinners on property. So this kind of just shows you, I mean, because Sandals Granada is in a cove, you're not going to have a long stretch of beach, but it is a really nice beach. And like all the Sandals properties, they have the little float in there that you can go on. But it was, the water was absolutely beautiful. We were able to go in there a ton. It's super warm. So I really actually kind of like the privacy of the beach in the resort. And so this just shows you, I mean, we were there in September, which was, kind of like the peak of hurricane season, and it was absolutely packed. So it is a very, very popular resort. And the other thing I wanted to show you is this is actually one of the airport runways. I mean, you want to talk about how close it is. That is how close the resort is to the airport. However, you don't see a ton of planes arrive and take off. You do once in a great while, but it never, ever bothered me. And I'm kind of very sensitive to loud noises, and I never, ever heard a plane. So it was really, really cool, but a ton of fun stuff to do in the pools. This is another pool. This is actually the beach is right there. So this is the beachfront pool. And of course, at night, they have all of the fire pits lit and it looks super pretty. So just pictures
Andrea,
or
can
picture.
you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Okay, I can't see anything. You
Oh
need,
no.
you need to share your screen.
No, why isn't
I
that?
kind of messaged you, but you didn't see it, so
Why
I
isn't that?
didn't want to interrupt you.
Why isn't it being shared? Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
I'm just seeing you.
You're just seeing me. Oh my goodness. Okay, that doesn't work. Let me see here.
There's on the bottom it says something share screen. I don't know if you can click on that.
Yeah, that's what I just did. Why isn't it working? And see, this is the exact thing. So this is like what it is. So share screen. Okay. So here we go. Can you see it now?
There you go.
Yay. Okay, let me just go back to those pictures then, because I think it's really important. I want to make sure that that's in there. So I'm just going to hit play from start. Can you see it now?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, now I see the chat. Turn your
I
screen around.
didn't
I
want
love
to
it.
interrupt you.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. No, that was perfect. Okay, so yeah, this is just the thing. These are the just things I went over.
Mhm,
And then so yep, Sandals, Granada. Um 5 minutes. Okay, so this is kind of like now you can see what the terrain looks like.
mhm,
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So like I was saying, these are all of the, you know, the complimentary water sports that you get. And then I was saying here, like this is kind of what the beach looks like. So super pretty, really small, but I actually loved the way it was laid out. And this was a sunny day, like the day that we got there before it was like pretty cloudy. So, but yeah, so this is one of the pools. I mean, it's a super, you know, vibrant, active pool area, which was super fun. So then this is the, oh, so it better stop going. Okay, good, perfect. I just hit it. So just thought this was a super cute picture because you can sit there, you know, with like your significant other, whoever you want to take on your trip and go. But it was just so nice and relaxing. I absolutely loved it. And so when we were there, I do a lot of destination weddings and romance travel. So they were nice enough to kind of like set up a table for us and just show us kind of if you had a really small wedding or even like an elopement or something like that. They set it up for us in the gazebo here. So it was super pretty. But then they also use this area for their romantic dinners at night. And then also they use this little gazebo out there too. So, and then actually this is one of their boats that they take out for the scuba diving to go in the underwater museum, which is fun. So this was another area that was set up for a private dinner. But yeah, I mean, you can just kind of like tell by like the terrain here that you are in kind of like a hilly area. But that's one of the reasons that I love this resort so much. It was just super pretty. You're surrounded by nature, which I love. Okay, so this is the room that one of the rooms that I stayed in at first. This is the pink gin room. And I said that it needs a lot of updating just because, oh my God, why is it not going back? Okay. Because it just seems really dark to me. So a lot of the Sandals properties that I've been to seem to be like really open and a lot of like nice light coming through. And not like it was bad and it actually really had a nice, this is like a cathedral ceiling up in this area. But I just kind of thought it was a little bit dark for my taste. And so this is one of their leading categories in the pink gin building. And then I had a little like balcony out there. And so this is another view of it. I mean, super comfy bed, but I'm not a super big fan of the dark wood. So that's also another reason. But so then we go over here. This is the Italian Village building. And so beautiful waterfall. This is actually where the Sky Pool Butler Suites are up here. So that is what I had a couple of my clients stay in when they went. So one of the Sky Pool suites is 3602. And so you come into this massive suite, and this area kind of to the left over here is where the bar is and everything. And then you come in, you've got the living room area here. And then this over into these double doors is where the bedroom and the bathroom are. So this is another, you know, shot of the living room. So it's, I mean, it's a massive, and this is just me sitting in this in the pool. So looking over, it's, I mean, it is so stunning, that pool water. And so this was actually up on the third floor of the building. And over here is where you can see these are the pink gin buildings. So these do not have any elevators. So you need to make sure, or even if I have clients that stay and are on, that if you can't walk up the stairs, you need to make sure that you book in a different building, because none of the pink gin buildings have elevators and they have 5 floors. So that is definitely something to be aware of. So here's just another view from that Sky Pool Butler Suite. It was, I mean, I could stay there all day. It was amazing. So beautiful. And then I got this angle of the bathroom, but essentially the way that the Sky Pool Suite is set up. you've got a shower here, and then you also have a shower over to the right. You've got the bathtub in the middle, and then each person has their own private sink area. So it's a really, really big bathroom. And then this is just a picture of the master bed. And this actually also spans out over the pool. So the pool stretches all the way from the living room into the master bedroom. And so, you know, I just took a picture of just to show people. So the Rendezvous Butler Suites and then the Waterfall River Pool Junior Suites are in that area. So these are the Waterfall River Suites. So they're beautiful. They come with their own private pool, huge balcony area. They're so gorgeous. So you can just kind of see, so they have the waterfall coming out here, really nice balcony. And so those are kind of like all along here. And then these are the Rendezvous. So a lot of really nice secluded areas for people. I loved all the suites that they had there. So that would be really nice, you know, for somebody for a honeymoon or anniversary or a special occasion or something like that. But they were beautiful. Okay, so then Butch's, this was my, like I said, my favorite Butch's that I've ever been to. And we actually got a private tutorial from one of the chefs there. And so she kind of like laid everything out for us. So something for a nice romantic dinner would be cool. And this is just the best food I've ever had at any Butcher's restaurant. It was so delicious. So really high end, really gourmet food there. Absolutely delicious. Cooked the steak perfectly, because sometimes, you know, when you go, the steak isn't real steak. This was delicious sirloin and filet. So absolutely loved it. So, you know, if you have any clients that are foodies, this would be the perfect place for them to go. And of course, I had to get a Cosmo when I went because it's my favorite thing. And the best sushi restaurant too. It was delicious. So do you have any questions about Granada?
No.
Okay, awesome. So then the next property that I was at was the Sandals Royal Barbados and Sandals Barbados. So right next door to one another. It's really great for any client. Like there wasn't a time when I said, oh, I wouldn't send a client here because of this, this, and this. I mean, both properties were amazing. They had a wide array of suites and butler suites. And they had the Sandals first only rooftop pool and restaurant, which was gorgeous. I have slides of that. And then also their first 4-lane bowling alley, which was super fun. So of course, like any Sandals property that you have, if they're right next door to each other, you can stay at one and play at two, which was awesome. And they have very first vegan and vegetarian restaurant at this property, actually. So if anybody has any clients, or if any of my clients are vegan and vegetarian, this would be a great place for you to go. And easy walk to downtown. I absolutely loved it. I met some friends there, and we felt completely comfortable leaving the resort and walking the 15 minutes it took to get to the downtown, where it was so fun. I put in there, it was kind of like an old world Key West vibe, but all the buildings were small and bright, and they had a lot of cool restaurants and bars and outdoor live music. So super, super fun. And then another great thing about this property is the only 15-minute ride from the airport. So that's just me coming in. Of course, you know, you check into the Sandals, and then anybody that is staying in one of the Butler suites does get the luxury vehicle transport, which is amazing. The Butler Elite. And they always did super cute stuff in my room. So this was a huge suite, which I loved. And it looked out towards, so I was staying on the Royal Barbados side. And so massive suite. And I had a beautiful balcony and a great view of the outdoor area and the pool. And so I loved that. It was super pretty. Probably one of my favorite pool areas at a Sandals resort, actually. There was always kind of something to do there. And then they had a beautiful white sand beach, which I loved. So then these are a lot of this is actually on the Sandals Barbados side. So they had a ton of swim up suites, 2-story, but it just really looked like this. There was a lot of greenery, beautiful swim up suites, and this was actually over on the Sandals Royal Barbados side. And here's another Butch's restaurant, which I loved. So then this is the rooftop pool and restaurant and sky bar. It was so beautiful. So you could just like lay by the pool. This is the hot tub that they had there, but you would always, this is the tiny pool area, but they had chaise lounges there. It was so pretty, and they have a lot of actual events that they have up there at night, which was super fun. They would kind of do it over in this area here, and a lot of people for their weddings, so like destination weddings, if you were to have one there, they would remove all of these chairs, and so this could be a place where you could have your reception. And at night, it is spectacular, the view that you get of the ocean. So that was super, super fun. And then this is one of the infinity pools that they had down. They had like 5 different pools. So this was one that was really, really cool. And then they just did a great job, I thought, kind of decorating and laying out the beach area. Super, super pretty. And then I just loved this was just like a tiny little restaurant that you could have lunch at, that I thought had just a beautiful view. And then, of course, here's the bowling alley, the 4-lane bowling alley. Tons of fun. That's one of the outdoor areas for lunch. So that was Sandals Barbados and Royal Barbados. So the next one is Sandals Royal Bohemian. And if you know anything about Royal Bohemian, they actually closed down for 6 months to completely update the entire property. And it definitely needed it, because so these are the pictures of when I had gone there before they essentially refurbished and redid the entire resort. And it really needed it. Like, a lot of the rooms needed it. So I can't wait to go back and kind of see what it's like now that they redid everything. I've had a couple clients go there since then, and they loved it. So it recently had a massive update, including all the grounds, the suites, and the private island that they have. And I think that this is definitely good for like a younger clientele, just because it can be a bit noisy at the huge new pool area. It's great for young people that are on their honeymoon or celebrating an anniversary, and a lot of people choose to go to this specific resort if they're celebrating a birthday. And it's so I kind of think it's a great idea for active clients who like a lot of nightlife and just kind of really like that a little bit more of a party vibe. That's definitely what I would say about this resort. I love the private island. So they have boats running all day from the resort over to their private island. The boat ride takes maybe 15 minutes to get there. They've got a ton of new resorts on property that they didn't have before. So now they've got a Butch's Steakhouse. They've got a new French restaurant, which is delicious. And they also have a new Japanese restaurant there. And so this resort is about 30 minutes or so from the airport. So still not super bad. So this building actually still looks exactly how it is now. They updated the outside of it, but this was one of the newer buildings before they did the renovation. So, so the whole area right now looks a little bit different, but these are just from when I went, which was right before they shut it down to do the massive renovation. So it's kind of like laid out way different. I mean, they scratched this entire area, and it's much more kind of like contemporary. They now have like food trucks all along this area that people can go up and grab something to eat while they're swimming in the pool. The pool has even changed a lot too. So they took out a lot of the like columns and the statues that they had at the property and kind of like refurbished everything. So yeah, like a lot of these guys aren't there anymore. They just kind of did a humongous facelift to the whole property. So let's see. Yeah, so these guys aren't there anymore. Probably a good thing. I didn't really like them. I was like, I don't know about that. But so this is over in the private island, which I thought was so cool. It's just super fun, you know, being able to do that. And so they had all these little areas where you could just like sit and relax. And, you know, they would have somebody come and ask you for your drink order, your food order, so something like that. So, you know, people that want to experience a resort, but then also something really unique, I would definitely send them to Royal Barbados, Bohemian, because there's just kind of nothing like having, and all the guests can go to this private island versus Royal Caribbean, you know, only the people that are in the bungalows and the villas can do that. So, but this was super, super fun. So they have all these cute little sitting areas all around there, which was awesome. It's super, super romantic. That's what we loved about it. And you could always find like a little area to just, you know, have peace and quiet and relax. So I loved that about it. So love is all you need, of course. That's the Sandals motto. And then they even have a little spa on the private island, which was awesome. So you could get a massage while you're over there. So super, super fun. Okay, so Sandals Royal Plantation, this was actually the very first Sandals property that I ever went to. And there are some people that absolutely love it and some people that it's just not their cup of tea. And I think the reason for that is because if you have somebody that is looking for, you know, a super updated, very modern property, this is not for them. Like if they want a modern property, I would send them to Sandals Montego Bay or even like Sandals Negril. But the thing I loved about this is I felt like I was stepping back into like old world Jamaican culture. So the whole way they did this property, they kept the charm of it. So that's something that I really, really loved about this property. Super small property, very intimate, very romantic. This is also a property where if you have clients that are having, you know, that have a difficult time physically moving around, this would not be the property for them because it is also set on a cliff, very hilly. So I would just be cognizant about that. Also love that it had its own champagne and caviar menu. So they had that upstairs with the piano bar, which was amazing. So like I said, it's a small resort, very intimate. So it's a 15-minute ride from the new Ian Fleming Airport, which American Airlines flies into right now, which I would say if you want to stay there, I would fly into there versus Montego Bay because it's about an hour and 15 minutes from Montego Bay Airport. So it's definitely a haul versus if you can get an American Airlines flight into the Ian Fleming Airport, I would do that. So the unique thing about this property is an all Butler resort. The beach is small, but it's so beautiful. And the staff is absolutely amazing. I would say it's probably one of my favorite staffs that I have been to at a Sandals property. And the other really unique thing about this property is that how do I go back? So I wanted to move this up here. Okay. So they also have a private villa that is on the property. So you can rent that out. It has 3 bedrooms and, you know, huge kitchen, your own private pool, and it comes with your own private staff, which is super fun. So I believe that the max people that it can occupy are 8. So if you had like 4 couples that wanted to go and do like a private villa, Sandals has that for you on this property, which is really neat. And so basically all of the Sandals property is in Jamaica. Other than Sandals South Coast, you probably wouldn't do that within the stay at one play at 6, just because it's so much farther away than all the other properties. But if you were to do, you know, Sandals Royal Plantation, Sandals Ochi, Sandals Montego Bay, Sandals Negril, Sandals Royal Caribbean, so all of those you could stay at one and play at 6, and they do offer transportation between the resorts. So that's super nice. So just a little bit of, so this is the entrance area, really pretty. So this is kind of what I was talking about in terms of the old world charm. You know, it's got a lot of that, what I think is like a European vibe to it as well. A lot of the dark mahogany wood. This is one of the small bars up there. But as you can see, like it's a very specific vibe to this resort. But I really, really loved it. And so a couple of small pool areas. They had a ton of decks though. That was the other really nice thing. So you could always find like a quiet location. I sent a lot of honeymoon couples to this resort because it's so private and intimate. So this is just a view from one of the oceanfront rooms. Another view there. And then they have these awesome like day beds that you can swing on all throughout the property. And see, so how you can see like the cliff area. So all of kind of a lot of their restaurants are like built into the cliffside, which is really, really pretty. And the water is just spectacular. I absolutely loved. And this over here is actually Sandals Ochi, part of that beach. And then, you know, I mean, who doesn't want to lay in a hammock and swing in the ocean? And then they had their residential or their resident peacock family that's always there. And then obviously they just always put a lovely touch on every Sandals property I go to. It's amazing. But this is outside of the French restaurant. Actually, the French restaurant is kind of up here, but then they have the gathering spot out here and they do a lot of entertainment at night. This is not a place, if you're looking for a lot of like upbeat nightlife, this would not be a resort that would be for you. This is definitely geared much more towards the like quiet, intimate, relaxing vibe. It's just so pretty. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, I send a ton of honeymoon clients here because of the intimacy of the property. And all the staff will remember you by name. I mean, that's the other thing I loved about them. So just the Reef Terrace out here, they do lunch and dinner out here. And then this is a space where they do a lot of their, you know, romantic candlelight dinners. And so this is kind of what I was talking about. The whole property is a lot like this. There's a ton of stairs everywhere, but it's so lush and tropical. I just loved it. And then of course, one of the swings over here. So then, okay, so Sandals Ochi, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Sandals Ochi. It is definitely not in my top Sandals resorts, that's for sure. I didn't like the way that the property was laid out. It's kind of like cut. So one half of the property is up in the hills and the other half is down by the beach. And you have to take a van to go from either property. And I just feel like it needs a lot of work to it. It needs a renovation big time. And the food was okay. Honestly, like the only thing I really liked about this property is that they had a speakeasy, which was super fun. But other than that, unless you are a person that is very budget conscious, I would send people there. But it's definitely, I don't think it's not up to the Sandals standards like I think it should be. So like I said, it's split up into two different resorts, one in the hills, one near the beach. Great speakeasy. Some rooms have been updated, but definitely a lot more need to be. And it's right next door basically to Sandals Royal Plantation. And so, however, Sandals Ocho Rios is, or Ocho Rios as I should say, is where Sandals Ochi is. And it is a great area for a lot of the excursions that you can do in Jamaica. So that is definitely a plus. So just, I would just be aware, you definitely have to qualify your clients to stay in this type of property. But, it was fun. I had a ball when I went, but it's just not, like I said, not up to Sandals standards. So they do have a lot of these rooms where you have a building that has like 4 different suites and you share your own, I don't know why it's doing that. You share your own pool. So I also didn't really like that because people could be out there like late at night and making noise or whatever. So it's just an interesting setup. It wasn't my favorite, but if you have like 4 couples that want to go together and like celebrate something, then actually those suites would probably be really great for them. So it's just all about like qualifying people. But definitely not the best beach for sure. I would put it on the bottom of my list in terms of beach locations. They did have a really cool, like, terrace bar and restaurant up there. They had the latitudes over the water bar, which was fun, but you know, like I said, just not really my favorite. And this is what the speakeasy looked like inside. So that was pretty cool. But other than that, yeah, not my favorite. So Sandals Montego Bay, obviously the flagship property, their first property. I send a lot of clients here that say to me, you know, Andrea, I want to go away for 4 nights or 3 nights for a long weekend somewhere. And I need to be super close to an airport and I want it to be kind of modern. This is where I send those clients. It's 5 minutes from the Montego Bay Airport. Excellent restaurants. The beach is on the smaller side, but I think it's still really nice. They do a really good job of taking care of the beach and the water's beautiful. They do have the wedding chapel on site, so there are a lot of destination weddings that happen there. It's great, like I said, it's great for clients who want to get away for a long weekend because it's so close to the airport. So that's super easy. But I mean, everything that the staff does at this property is like top notch. I really loved that. So these are a lot of the swim up suites. They just redid these a couple of years ago, right before COVID. And they're really, really beautiful. They all have that tranquility soaking tub out there. And I just love the way that they do the, you know, kind of like the wildlife and the, you know, trees and nature around it. Super, super pretty. This is one of my favorite restaurants. This is their seafood restaurant up there. Stunning sunset views. Absolutely amazing. I mean, it's just so pretty. And I love how the restaurant has these like glass openings, so nothing in the ocean or the beach is blocked. So pretty. So this is another view from there. So they do breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. And then of course I had to take a picture of the elephant because elegant elephant travel. But then they have a really cool koi pond. They have a couple of those. So I don't remember what room category this was. I'm pretty sure it was, you know, an oceanfront. But you can obviously tell that they've done a lot of updates to this property, which I really, really love. And that's why I said, if you have a client that's looking for a modern room, this would be a great place to put them. It's just super, super pretty view, easy access to the beach. Like the beach is literally right there. So this is one of the beachfront rooms. And then I believe this was one of the ones, yeah, look at that shower. It's huge. And I love the soaking tub. So that's just kind of what, yeah, they have the tranquility soaking tub there. And I'd have to go back and look at what category that was. But, you know, they do have actually a pretty large beach for the Montego Bay area. But like I said, they take a great deal of care in keeping it up. So that was nice. And then just another room category. They had like 27 at this property. It was crazy. But I love this one. So pretty in the little sit out area. Super nice. And then I just took a picture of a couple obviously having a romantic candlelight dinner. But yeah, the sunsets were the most beautiful sunsets I think I've ever seen. Super pretty. And that was actually out at Kimono's, their Japanese restaurant. So Royal Caribbean, a lot of people know Royal Caribbean because it was the very first property that had the over the water villas and the bungalows. So this was about, yeah, so amazing over the water villas and bungalows. The villas, like I said before, come with their own private pool. And these are booked out years in advance, years. So if you know that you have something special that you want to celebrate, you need to book these out a lot, definitely far out, because they're already booked out for 2025 right now. I just looked the other day. So, and like I said before, they come with their own private island. Really cool thing about this property too is they have an authentic British pub and they have high tea available every day, which I thought was super cute. And so there's kind of a lot of like that European vibe in this property as well, which I kind of liked. This is a really big resort too. So I just kind of thought this was like really pretty. This is like their little French outdoor area. And you do actually kind of feel like you're in Europe a little bit, that has that vibe to it. So I thought that their restaurants were really, really pretty. And I love, like, at night, all of these are like sparkling, like hanging down lights. It was kind of like a magical feeling. So I really loved that. And the other thing I liked about the properties, they had a lot of these little pools scattered everywhere. So if you wanted to kind of like get away from the hustle and bustle of the main pool, they had all these little pools scattered around the resort, which was awesome. And then these are just some of the swim up suites that they had on property. Gorgeous like grounds too. They did a great job keeping up with it. This is another one of the little pools on property. Beach definitely wasn't big at all, but plenty of spots to lay out, get a suntan. They raked the beach every single morning, took really great care of it. And then of course you have to have the quintessential area for the romantic candlelight dinner. A ton of the water hammocks all over the property. And then this is kind of, you can see here. So this is the private island with the overwater villas and bungalows. This is actually part of the private island. So they have these scattered all along the island for the guests that are staying in the villas and the bungalows. So this is basically what the whole island looks like. It's so pretty. So then this is actually the boat that takes all the clients out to the private island. And it runs all day long, depending on when clients want to go back into the main resort or not. So they're at people's beck and call all the time. So you can just kind of tell, these are the villas. They are humongous. So sitting area out here, this is the private tub. So the pool's in this area, and then they've got the stairs that you walk down into. They've got the chaise lounges there, and you can like jump right down into the ocean from there. It's pretty spectacular. So this is where they will deliver, if you want breakfast in the morning or anything, 24/7, butler service, room service. And so this is what one of the villas looks like. So they have a couple different spots where you have the see-through floors, one in the master, and then a couple others in the bathroom. But the way that they decorated these is spectacular. I absolutely love the his and hers, or hers and hers, or his and his, whatever way you want to stay there. Loved how they decorated everything. So beautiful. So this is the indoor tub, and you can open up these doors, and so you can get like the ocean breeze in there while you're having a bubble bath with your champagne or whatever you want to do. It's amazing. And so this is what the private pool looks like. So, looking out into literally the ocean, and it's so warm. The pool is, and then so here's your outdoor shower, which is gorgeous. And then another little sitting area. And then this they have in every single one of the bungalows and the villas is, like the little hammock over the water. And so actually this is a perfect picture. So these are the stairs that you can go down and swim into the ocean and come right back up. So you have access to the ocean. And so, yeah, this is a huge hammock that you can lay on. So here's another view of the stairs. So every single villa has the stairs that go down into the ocean. So Sandals Negril, obviously on the beautiful 7 Mile Beach in Negril. It's about a 10-minute drive from Montego Bay Airport. Great water sports. So the thing that I loved most about this property is really, really cool 2-story suites. And they were the honeymoon beachfront 2-story, 1-bedroom butler villa suite. That was my very favorite suite on this property, and the most spectacular sunsets I've ever seen. So those are kind of like the key points of Sandals Negril. Of course, they always decorate something when you get there. So this was 8102. Pretty modern too. And then this is just another, this was not at that one, but that was just one of the lead-in room categories have these sinks to them. And so this is one of the, that was the suite that had their own private pool. And I just love this little area here. It's like so tranquil. It's like your own private little oasis. Okay, so these are the honeymoon 2-story suites. I just thought these were so awesome. They had actually just finished building these when I went, and that was in 2018. And so you can kind of see this is the humongous living room that you have, and then you go up to the stairs into the master. And so look how cool the bathroom is. It's just so beautiful. And everything, high ceilings everywhere. And so this was a huge outdoor soaking tub. And so this over here was like the ocean. So they all have like ocean views in those 2 stories. Yep. So this is the view that you would get on top of the 2-story honeymoon suite there. Another view. It was kind of rainy that day. We were like running from suite to suite so we didn't get soaking wet. But on a nice day, it was gorgeous. Just a little chaise lounge area. Yeah, and they had, you know, they always have the boats that you can rent, private boats. Okay, so Sandals South Coast, I've been to this property about 4 times. It's one of my favorites. It's kind of a haul though, like I said, one of my favorite properties. It has the Latitudes over the water bar. It also has the beautiful over the water bungalows. They do not have the villas, so they do not have their own private pools, but they do have the over the water bungalows in the heart shape. They're actually, it was the most recent over water bungalows that they were building. So the first time I was there, they were just building them. And then the last 2 times I was there, they were all finished. Great food or good food, great staff, like probably one of my favorite butler teams that I've had. So the thing about this property, if you haven't been before, it is a pretty long drive from the Montego Bay Airport, and there's no easy way to get there. So definitely a lot of, you know, choppy back and forth the road to get there, but it is well worth it. So I definitely would not send people there that only want a short stay. I tend to send my clients that want to stay anywhere from 6 to 7 nights, just because the drive is really long. The really cool thing about this property is that it's won the Caribbean's leading honeymoon resort for 3 years in a row, and a 5-star diamond property 9 years in a row. I think that's just such a great thing about this property. So this right here is the Italian village. So they've got the Italian village, the Dutch village, and then they've got the overwater bungalows, like I said before. But it's spread out really nice. The thing that I liked about this property is all of the restaurants were kind of down this corridor. So you didn't have to go to one side of the property to go to this restaurant and the other side of the property to go to that restaurant. They were all kind of down in this like makeshift street that they made, which I really, really liked, because it was really easy to get from one, you know, restaurant to the other, except for Neptune's that they had like right on the beachfront. So if you've been to a Sandals property, you know that they're definitely into their statues and their water, you know, sculptures and all of that. So of course they had that. This is the main pool area. So over here is the Italian village, but beautiful views of the ocean right there. And that's kind of like the happening pool. But this is kind of what I was talking about in terms of all of the restaurants being like lined up. You really feel like you're kind of in this little European street, which was really nice. And then, I mean, a pretty expansive beach, actually. I was surprised at how long the beach was at Sandals South Coast. Really, really beautiful golden sand. The water was super warm. And depending on the, you know, the time of year you go, it could be crystal clear or a little bit darker, depending on, you know, the choppiness of the water. But same thing as with any Sandals property, you've got the use of the non-motorized water sports. And this was one of the suites in the Italian village. I think it was like it was a lead-in room category. And then this one actually was the suite that we stayed in. It was a 1-bedroom butler suite. And so it had this really nice living room area, a ton of room. And this was our balcony out from our bedroom. So really, really pretty in the morning. I would sit out here and have my coffee, or, you know, have a pre-dinner drink before we went. So really, really romantic property. I loved it. And then of course they do have a wedding chapel on this property as well. So that is very popular with destination wedding guests. Really, really pretty. I was hoping that they would have a wedding set up, but they didn't when I was there, unfortunately. But you can just see how gorgeous it is. And then, like I said, much longer beach than I had anticipated. I actually kind of thought this was bigger than Sandals Negril, which was on the 7 Mile beach, but this is just a much wider beach, not as long as Sandals Negril, but definitely wider. And I also loved how it sits in between, the mountain ranges, made it kind of like feel very isolated in a good way, kind of like you were on your own little island, which was nice. So here's just what the over the water chapel looks like. And I loved how kind of the same thing that they do in Sandals Royal Caribbean. They have the see-through floor, which is super, super pretty, especially at night. And so this was the latitudes. And you can actually see how they were just starting to build the overwater bungalows the very first time I was there, but they had just finished the latitudes bar, which is super, super fun. So this is all lit up at night. They have the fire pit going, and then they have candles everywhere in the bar. So it's just really fun to hang out in before you go to dinner. So I love that about it. So yeah, these are the fire pits. And then they were just starting to build these. So these look exactly like the overwater bungalows do at Sandals Royal Caribbean. They're set up exactly the same way, which was fun. Oh, okay. There we go. All done. So like I just vomited out a ton of information, but so I think I'll stop share now. So don't know if you have any questions at all, or anything that I can answer.
No, I just wanted to listen in since I'm learning about different properties. I thought this might be a good opportunity to get to know one more because you just don't
Absolutely.
know when you might have someone for it.
Absolutely. And like I said, there's only 4 properties that I haven't been to. I'm actually headed to Sandals Curacao in January, and then I can't wait to go to the new Sandals in the Grenadines and St. Vincent. So that's going to be super fun. But I really love the brand, and I really, really like how they promote themselves to be, a resort kind of for every type of client that you have. So, that's why I thought it was kind of important to do the webinar for people, just because they all offer something different. And it's really kind of important to know, especially the ones that, like I said, Sandals Granada and Sandals Royal Plantation, if you've, never really been to those and you don't know kind of how they're set up, it's just really important to know that there's a certain clientele that probably would not be able to go to those resorts, or not that they wouldn't be able to go, but they just wouldn't have as good of a time as if they went to, let's say, some other one. So
Right.
they all have their own, pros. And I wouldn't even call them cons, but they definitely all have their own kind of like theme and the type of clientele that would benefit from going there versus other ones. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, absolutely. And if you have any questions at all, just feel free to message me. And I'd
I
love
will.
to
I know
meet
who
you.
I need to call if I have
Awesome.
any questions on Sandals.
Perfect. Well, and everyone else that's going to be, I know a lot of people couldn't come tonight. That's why I wanted to record it for everybody.
Mhm.
But feel free, anybody who watches it in the next couple days or weeks or so, to reach out to me, and I will answer any questions you have the best that I can.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, have a great night.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Take care.